called an EVSE cable. This is your charging cable. It's designed to be used at home, and you'll probably find that charging in your garage is the primary spot that you'll be charging your vehicle most of the time. So let's do a quick overview of the EVSE. On one end, you have the cable that attaches to an outlet in your garage. So let's just say a standard 120 volt outlet. And then on the other end, you're going to have the part of the cable that goes into the charge port of your car. And it has a connector on the front that fits the charge port of your vehicle. And on the Leaf, there's a button inside that you can press to open up your charge port door. There's also a button on the key that does the same thing. But basically, once the door is open, you take the end of the cable that's the 120 volt plug it into your wall outlet. For me, it's right here behind my washing machine. And then you plug the other end directly into the charge port, for me, here on the very front of the Nissan Leaf. So there are 3 LED indicators on my EVSE. The first one lights up green once you've plugged into your 120 volt wall outlet. And once it lights up green, it indicates that the EVSE is ready to begin charging. Then, once you take the other end of the cable and plug it into your charge port, if you have a secure connection, then the second light, which is labeled charge, will illuminate in orange to let you know that everything is charging properly. The third LED light is red and labeled fault. This light will indicate generally as soon as you plug in the EVSE into your wall outlet if there's any type of connection to prevent you.
I am going to explain what 22 kilowatt 3-phase charging is, if your home has the capability to have it, and whether you even need it. So what is 3-phase 22 kilowatt charging exactly? You can charge your vehicle at home at a range of speeds depending on the power source and output of the charger. Starting from the lowest output, these typically include a 3-pin domestic socket at 2.3 kilowatts or very slow, a dedicated home charge point at 3.6 kilowatts, which is faster but still quite slow, and then the standard 7.4 kilowatt dedicated home charger, which is our recommendation and is what most electric car drivers have at home. But you can go faster. You can go up to 22 kilowatts, which is the fastest charge point you can get for the home. But to achieve this, the charge point will need to be 3-phase compatible itself and use what's called a 3-phase electricity supply. In addition, the car itself will need to be able to accept 22 kilowatts. Let's look at those factors in a little more detail. Firstly, your property will need a 3-phase electricity supply. Secondly, your vehicle will need to be capable of receiving up to 22 kilowatts AC. Note, AC charging at home is different to using those big public rapid chargers you see, which use direct current or DC. In order to charge a vehicle at 11 kilowatts or higher at your property, you will need to have a 3-phase electricity supply. Unfortunately, most residential properties in the UK operate on a single-phase supply and therefore cannot make use of a 3-phase 22 kilowatt charger. It is possible to apply for an upgrade to 3-phase supply through your DNO or distribution network operator, but this can be very expensive, with costs ranging from £3,000 to even £15,000. On top of that, your car might not even be able to accept a 22 kilowatt charge. This is because your car choice will determine how fast it can charge at home. A more powerful charger does not necessarily mean your car will charge faster, and actually very few electric cars can accept 22 kilowatt AC charging at home. Let's take an example. The Tesla Model 3 has an onboard charger which limits the charging to 11 kilowatts AC at home through its Type 2 connection. This means that even if you had a 3-phase supply at home and even if you had a 22 kilowatt charger installed, a Tesla Model 3 in this instance would still only charge at 11 kilowatts. Some vehicles have an even lower limit. For example, the Nissan Leaf onboard charger is limited to 6.6 kilowatts charging at AC, and even that is an optional upgrade on the car. This means that even with a 7.4 kilowatt charger, the upgraded Nissan Leaf would charge at a maximum of 6.6 kilowatts. Each car is different, so check with the manufacturer or dealer to find out how fast it can charge at home.
It's called a level 1 charger,
situations, though,
also called
our
trickle
customers
charging, as you
find
might
a
see in your owner's
7.4
manual.
kilowatt charger at home
So when
is
you're
more
using a
than
level
enough for
1
their
charger
needs.
like the EVSE that comes with your car, it can take upwards of 12 hours to get a full charge in your vehicle. So if level 1 isn't fast enough for you, the next option you could do is install a home charger into your garage, and this will take you to a level 2 charging speed. If you get a level 2 charger installed in your home, or if you use a public charger that you see out when you're driving around, those are also level 2 chargers. Those run off of 240 volt currents, and they'll charge your car, if you're doing the math, twice as fast. So you can install a 240 volt level 2 charger upgrade, and what they do is you mail them your EVSE and they modify it to run on a 240 volt current if you have that type of plug in your house. Now I'm fortunate enough to have a 240 volt plug, which I usually plug my dryer into, but with an adapter and with the EVSE upgrade, I'm actually able to plug my EVSE into that same dryer outlet, and now I can charge my car at a level 2 charging speed, and now I'm able to get a full charge in about 4.5 hours instead of 8, 10, or 12 hours just off the 120 volt current. You're not supposed to charge your car up to 100% all of the time. Lithium-ion batteries don't like holding a full charge for several hours. It just degrades the battery quicker. So a common practice for EV owners is to not let their battery drain below 20% and to try to avoid charging above 80% unless you're about to go somewhere right away, in which case you can leave it charging to 100 and then hit the road right away as soon as it's fully charged. This is just a tactic that might help your battery last a little bit longer than if you charged it to 100% and let it sit full overnight for a long time.